And now, it's Album of the Week time. We have House of Freaks' first album, Monkey on a Chain Gang. This is 1988, Rhino Records, produced by Randy Burns and House of Freaks. Now let's have an interview with the guys, Johnny and Bryan. We'd like to introduce to you tonight, House of Freaks. We have over here Johnny and Bryan. Okay, guys, I wanted to ask you, how long have you known each other?
Go ahead, Bryan.
Oh, man, well, we're cousins, actually, and so...
We haven't really known each other for that long because they were so the relationship was so distant.
Yeah.
But for about 2 years, but actually we should have known each other for our whole lives, I guess.
Okay.
Third cousins, we just found out. It was really a tender moment when we found that out.
Okay, so that helps with the rhythmic. You guys are like inborn.
We always wondered what it was that made us get along so well musically, but it's because we're related. I think it was one of the presidents that was the who was it? McKinley. That's who it was.
Okay.
That was sort of the common relative between them.
And what was some of the previous bands you've been in? Were you in any other bands together, or?
No.
No.
Not that I know of.
Let's see, I was in a band called Famous Actors from Out of Town.
I was in a band called the Boys from Skateland.
And I was in a band called the Snake Handlers.
I was in a band called Honcho.
And I was in a band called the Beatles.
Ah, I see. That was another...
I was in that band. I was the guitarist, the rhythm one.
Oh, that's right. Well,
I'm sorry.
It's okay, it's natural. Step on in.
Thank you.
Okay. And what about other instruments that you play? Go ahead.
Didgeridoo.
And Juice Harp.
Okay. And let's see here. Let's talk about your guitar collection. Do you have a guitar collection?
Well, yeah, but not much of one.
It's in here right now.
Yeah, this is it. There's two.
Do you like perhaps Gibsons more than Fenders or anything like that?
Well, no, I think I like Fenders better, but for this band, the Gibsons are a little better because they have the hollow bodies.
Right.
Need a full, rich sound. I like Gibsons, certain types of Gibson. I don't like that Les Paul stuff too much. I like.
Okay. The full sound.
But, Strats and Telecasters. Generally, I like old, cheap, weird guitars like Dan Electro or Kay or Harmony.
I love those, yeah.
Or Silvertone.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And what about like type of gauge strings you use, and like a thick pick?
Let me see.
Whatever's on sale, right?
Yeah, I mean the cheap
Whatever's
stuff. I
on
don't know.
sale. Okay.
Actually, I used a mixed set, and the pick here, Waldo's and Elvis from Waldo's in Los Angeles, and that's a medium.
Hang on, let's get a zoom in on that.
Can you see it?
Go for a real tight. Okay.
Did you get
Waldo's
that?
and Elvis. So now this is your main pick? I mean...
This is the pick that I use. I've had this one for 14 years, and it was given to me when I graduated from high school.
Well, it used to be about this big.
It's a lot bigger because it kind of wears down. It's big.
Touring can make you crazy.
Yeah. And,
okay.
That's the pick.
All right, and Johnny, what was your first kit that you had when you were little?
Let's see. It was a Sears all-metal sort of spring kit.
How many pieces? Like a little jazz?
2.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
2-piece.
Yeah.
What were the two
Bass
pieces?
drum and a tom-tom. That was...
And that's where you developed your style from.
Right, he doesn't use cymbals or snare much.
No,
Yeah.
there was... Yeah.
Okay. And how about your gear? I mean, what size sticks do you like? Do you go from the 7A real pencil, or you like a nice piece of oak, a 2B marching stick, or what?
Well, actually, I like about a 35Q. And that's, let's see, they're about this big.
Right, it's kind of like a redwood. You've got to like...
You get good tone and timbre out of those, huh?
Oh, yeah, and it sort of builds up.
You get timbre out of it.
And it's easier for the sound man to mix it too, right?
Yeah, they don't have to mic it.
Leave it down.
Right, and after you finish with it, they use it for telephone poles.
Okay, now what about some influences? One of my other questions, which is a standard question that I ask people, is in the 60s, were you more into the Beatles or more into the Stones?
Tough question, I think. Actually, it varied. Probably the Beatles I was, I guess.
Yeah, same here.
Really? Interesting, because when I was watching the video, I kind of got that feeling myself that you guys were into the Beatles somehow. It's not just because like you're a left-handed player or anything, but you get that imagery, but it seems like with the melodies and the hooks, phrasing and stuff like that, you could really tell that the 60s British feel.
Well, darn.
Darn. Well, that might not have been what you're looking for, but...
That's not really what we're trying to do. It's kind of hard to, had you grown up in the 60s, to have avoided that
Anyway, right.
that anyhow, almost everyone has to cite someone like Dylan or the Stones or the Beatles or the Kinks as an influence, whether they will admit it or not. Yeah, I mean, you grew up and you heard that stuff, and that stuff will crop back up in your music. As far as an influence for both Johnny and I, in this band, it was more all early blues and old folk music and a lot of weird stuff you can't find anymore, ethnic music and that type of stuff.
And what about rockabilly now? Because I've noticed from the Stray Cats, the way the drummer was playing, does this have any momentum on your style, or you just developed this on your own?
Nah, not really. I mean, I really wasn't into rock anyway. You know, when I say the Beatles, I didn't really listen to them either, but as far as, you know, the two go, the Beatles were it. But rockabilly, I know more about it now than I did a year ago, you know. And it's okay, I like it, you know. I like the early rock and roll, like the Elvis stuff, which was rockabilly, or Bill Haley and the Comets, you know.
Okay. All right, now let's get to past occupations. What were you doing like 2-3 years ago before you were on this tour?
Painting houses together.
Yeah, we were painting houses.
House of Painters turned into House of Freaks, huh?
Yeah.
Fucking House of Freaks.
Uh-oh.
That's okay. Spare roadie, I'm sure. Is he part of your crew, or is he out of house?
We don't know him, but people seem to delight in either flipping us the bird or calling us assholes. I don't know why. Maybe it's because we are.
Maybe just their perception. It has nothing to do with what you really are or what they really are either. It's their problem. Okay, let's back to this actual sheet I prepared for a change, folks. Prepared this one. Okay, let's talk about your families. Did you have big families? Were they supportive of your music?
My family is an average size of about 5 people, and yes, they're very supportive.
Yes, my dad's a country and western musician, so they can't really not support me.
Okay, I forgot what that question was going towards. Big families. Oh, none of you are married now, are you?
Far from it.
Okay, that's just an extra one. See, we also ask you at the end of the question, at the end of the interview, about what color panties you want the girls to send you.
Oh, okay.
That comes at the end, though.
Okay, good. Well, we can think about that.
What was the hardest thing about leaving home?
Well, probably leaving our families, you know.
And you're both from the same area, Virginia or whatever?
Yeah, Richmond.
Okay, it's strange you guys really don't have like an accent, though. They don't have much of a draw there?
Well, it's strange because some people say that we do and some people say we don't. I think really the more west we go, people sort of pick up on it, you know, because, you know, Denver has their own sort of accent, and California
Minneapolis.
has the bitchin', you know, it's more of a vocabulary thing there, you know.
You know, a lot of those, if you're from a metropolitan area anyhow, a lot of the dialects and stuff are becoming pretty homogenous now with television and radio and all that stuff. So everyone tends to speak the same. I mean, we're from a large city, so.
Okay. Now, when you got to L.A., did you have certain contact points, people you were already going to meet? And, okay.
Well, one of the primary ones was a guy named Stephen McCarthy and his girlfriend Laura Benson from, she worked at IRS, and he was in a band called the Long Riders. And Gary Stewart, who's the A&R person at Rhino, as well as a publisher from Bug Music, who is a good publisher out there, and there was a number of other people. That was enough to get us out to Los Angeles and get us started.
Okay, now you went there, like, how much did you plan in advance? Gee, we're gonna go, or did you just pack up and decide to go?
4 months, something like that.
4 months. And the whole time you were like, you were playing out in the hometown and like major crowds, you're just doing club dates, or?
People didn't start coming to hear us till they figured out that we were going.
So it was too late and you were on your way, probably.
Yeah, basically that's the way it was. But you know, we played all up and down the East Coast.
And when did the tour start?
This Midnight Oil tour?
Yeah, this last tour here.
About how long have we been out? A week and 2 weeks?
No. We've been about 2, maybe 2.5 weeks.
And where did it start? Like up on the coast? And
San Diego.
San Diego. Yeah.
And San Diego, Los Angeles, then worked up the coast, Seattle, San Francisco, went through Canada, came on down Minneapolis, and...
Where do you go from here? Like, what would be?
Cincinnati, Detroit.
We're going to finish off all the Midwest area, and then...
And then we wind up in New York, and the way it looks now, we might pick up the rest of their tour into Europe, and then back through the South.
Great.
So if fall works out, we'll be with Midnight Oil until beginning of July. So
okay,
we'll be
and then
brothers, man. In fact, we might band. You know.
Okay.
And then the horn section, actually.
Right. When we go to Richmond, I'm going to pick up my clarinet.
And then you eventually, I was going to say, you get back home and you get to spend a little time, and then you're going to go back out again, obviously. I mean,
Yeah.
for like the winter leg.
Well, we'll be recording our next album then.
That's part of my next question. Well, we got one more we'll ask you. What are some of your other interests, like when you're off the road? Do you like, what kind of sports? Or you just like to sleep or chase females or what?
Well, we love the Baltimore Orioles.
They're a big team.
In fact, we have a little, in the van, we have a Baltimore shrine that we, has like flowers and a little wreath and the
wreath,
light
yeah.
that goes down and hits it whenever they're playing. And then we have another little voodoo bag that the team that they play, we have the
baseball
cards.
cards.
We've got the cards. We put the
Great,
cards in there.
man.
So it worked last night because Baltimore won 9-0
Okay.
against Chicago.
Okay. So what are your other hobbies other than voodoo?
I like windsurfing.
Okay.
Really?
No, I never told you that. I'm a windsurfer.
See, now I'm providing a social service here. You guys will be tighter on down the road now because you know that he likes windsurfing, okay?
And
I
like,
can't windsurf. I just like to. It's a spectator sport.
A spectator sport, right.
I like building kites out of toothpicks.
On toothpicks, yeah,
That's
right.
interesting.
Okay.
I've always been into like model trains, HO trains, riding them though.
Scale,
I like to,
yeah.
I like to
Both-
ride on them.
And we both like to like water sports. In fact, when we were at the not the Grand Canyon, Niagara Falls,
Right.
we both got like a really large Dixie cup and put some briefs on.
A
and
large
went over the
Dixie
falls,
cup.
and
We're
it
the
was great.
We're the first band to go over in a Dixie Cup. There was a couple of guys who went over in a Dixie Cup successful, but we're the first rock and roll band.
I see.
In
There was a
briefs.
country band. Well, yeah, there was a rock and roll band that did it, but they weren't wearing briefs.
Right.
Definitely.
We're the first one.
It's the
in
twist that
briefs.
got you into the
right,
Guinness
it was
book.
the briefs there,
Okay.
and a rock and roll. There's a country band that did it in briefs, but not a rock and roll band.
How about like what are some of your favorite movies? Some of your favorite actors or actresses?
Well, let me see. I like Jimmy Stewart, and I liked the movie To Kill a Mockingbird, just off the top of my head.
Yeah, real top of your head stuff.
Clockwork Orange.
All right. Yeah.
What was the other question?
Favorite actors?
actresses.
I
forget too.
Oh, Edmund O'Brien.
Edmund O'Brien.
DOA. Great
All
movie.
right.
Let's see. What else? We can name more.
Yeah, if you want to go for
Seven Samurai.
Oh, that's a
Kurosawa.
great one.
It's a great movie.
Wise Blood was good.
Wise Blood.
Sort of more recent.
Okay. Because this is going to lead us into the video. You want to elaborate more on when you guys shot the video and how did you go about that and who approached who?
There was no approaching done. The art director at Rhino had a background in film. He wanted to do it. It was low budget. And Rhino wanted to do a video, actually more than we did. And it only took about a day and then another morning. Didn't really.
Yeah, I read on the sheet where it says that you guys had a hand in it. I mean, other than just playing. I
We
mean,
actually filmed some of it, but we did a tour back in the fall and took a Super 8 camera and just filmed each other on the road and
spliced it in.
yeah, and they ended up, we didn't know what it was going to be used for, but it ended up, we filmed a lot back in Virginia. So one thing we wanted in the video, if there was going to be a video, was that it had something that had a feel of our home,
Yeah.
Virginia, and not have us out in a stucco building somewhere under the Hollywood sign.
I think my favorite cut to of other people other than you is towards the end. There's some guy during the parade sequence. He's like marching along with a fake bandana or whatever. He's just going down. It's like, wow, this guy's really cutting into it. That's great. Okay, so I was going to also say how you have a lot of imagery in your songs. The graveyards, the black trains, black cats, the whole thing. And anything else you would like to elaborate on that?
I guess we're just interesting as hell and imaginative.
Yes, one of the few bands that uses their imagination. Hard to find you guys.
We're very loquacious and lugubrious, as well as being tenacious and taciturn. And
Right, and hirsute, of course.
Well, I'm hirsute. I'm more
Right.
hirsute than you.
Okay, well now then we're going to bring up the last question, which is about the new album. When are you going to record it? What's happening?
We'll record it probably in October, somewhere around there. I mean, it's not set. It's kind of up to us anyway. You know, when we get off the road, we have to pick a producer. We have to do pre-production.
Got to go through all that.
Yeah, I mean, which is cool because we'll do it. You know, we'll do that back in Virginia, and we may even record the album somewhere
In the east.
more in the east than say the West Coast.
Right,
Just-
relaxing for you guys.
Yeah, well, it's like
and
home.
Yeah, and the environment's a little more suited to our our music. In Los Angeles, we always feel a little bit out of our element, you know.
And we also have to pick. We're looking for a girl with a nice butt because we want to put that
The video.
No, for the album cover.
Oh, that's fun. We're
Whole
gonna
9
have
yards, yeah, stick her on the cover.
Well,
and
well,
we
the
wanted
thing is, this first record didn't break over commercial. We knew it because there wasn't enough cheesecake on it.
Yeah,
We knew
exactly.
that cheesecake.
Well, also we were on it, and I don't know if I can say this word, but there were 2 assholes on the first record, so
All right,
we wanted
we
to get
just
like a
want
real
one.
but a
Yeah,
nice
focus,
looking one
yeah.
because we're kind of.
Right. My butt's hairy. So.
Okay, and with that, we'd like to take you into...
I'm gonna play my spoons while we're going out. Is that all right?
Fine.
First time on video.
Oh, that's right.
We'll resume it. Applause there, anyway.
Yeah, where's that?
Okay. Try that black thing one more time.
So this is what your dad does. Cowboy, smoking gun. A horse, it's a companion. I know that he said he was done. Million hearts, a million eyes. Living down for years. Making sound for memories.
Oh, I knew this song.
Wow, that's pretty good. You know it better than I do.
Keep going. Take solos.